Hey guys, you're watching Team APS. We're back, and today we are going to be ranking
the top 10, or at least our top 10, TCG exclusive archetypes.
Now, for those who don't know, a TCG exclusive archetype is an archetype that was exclusive to the TCG. The OCG didn't have, at least at the time of release. And these are the archetypes that tend to, have more interesting like art and play styles and things like that.
Yeah, it's nice because usually we have the OCG to kind of guess how the formats are going to go for each set.
Yeah, these are the wild cards, right?
And we get them every set.
A lot of them made some big impacts.
Some of them were huge.
Some not so much. We're going to go 10 to 1. Small. So let's kick it off.
All right. Number 10, a deck that I really wanted to love. Vendread.
Yeah, the zombie ritual concept that kind of never really took off.
It was so close. So Vendread, they had a very peculiar playstyle. You had the Vendread, which were these kind of horde zombie monsters. When they were tributed while face up on the field, they would give the Vendread ritual monster added effects, like quick effect banishing monsters, quick effect banishing spells, draw, all kinds of things.
Non-targetability, I know, is one.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones, been making that monster non-targetable. And then you had your Vendread ritual monsters, who were not amazing.
Yeah.
But when you combine with these effects, made them very strong monsters.
So where's the trolls come in?
Everything? How do you
say
everything?
It's there were a lot of little small issues.
The fact that you had to tribute the Vendread monsters while they were face up on the field
that's
to get these effects.
Because it's hard to get them on the field.
It made your early game awful. It made it so tough to make plays. It really did.
I think my biggest gripe with the deck was just not being able to get to a lot of its cards, like its spells, and it's
they made it very it was like pulling teeth, letting them to search the spells. Monsters was one thing. We had a few different ways to do that, but searching the ritual spells was impressive.
Now, for what it's worth, it does get a spot on the list because it did have some extra link boards it can make if you use vampires and other things.
It also had, which I still hold, the best ritual spell ever made.
Yeah.
Vendread Reorigin.
Reorigin, yeah.
You could ritual summon from the hand or the grave. You could tribute from the hand, field, or grave.
Yeah, a lot of versatility.
And you could recycle the card.
Also some of the best artwork, I think. Thematically I like the theme. So number 9's Formula Athletes, or FA. I think it's Formula Athletes. I don't actually know if that's true.
Did they ever confirm? I don't know.
So this is a bunch of wind machines, and they gain levels each turn. You can also manually increase their levels with some of their support cards. And as they gain levels, they get more attack points, and eventually added effects. One even giving you a Dark Law effect, stuff like that. So I think one's a mistake. So they have really cool things. They have 3 different field spells. Their field spells get effects when they're destroyed. They also have a lot of quick play spells that can quickly adjust their levels on the fly, which will power them up and maybe give them their effects. Very awesome archetype.
I remember at release there was a lot of hype around this archetype. People were making combo videos of the things you could do with the deck. It was supposed to be something special.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it even had Dawn Dragster, which is a synchro that's still used in a lot of other decks to gate spells and traps.
Synchro, you can make Dawn Dragster.
The main problem came from the fact that Ancient Fairy Dragon got banned.
They needed it.
And it's a real shame because Ancient Fairy Dragon didn't get banned because of this deck. It got banned because of ABCs and, that type of stuff.
1, 2, 3.
The Gerudo. But now, the deck is just in a not great spot. I mean, it's without a way to go through those field spells and get those effects, I just don't think it can do much. And that's a real shame because it was an all-common archetype, so it was really easy for people to get.
Very easy to get. Pretty high ceiling.
Thematically awesome.
But
such is life. What's 8?
The next deck is the other athletes, the Ultra Athletes. Now, some people might be mad that we put Ultra over Formula. Well, one of these decks is still has all of its cards.
Ouch. Yeah, I mean, I think Ultra Athletes were... It's kind of a toss-up between them, but I like the playstyle more.
Yeah, Ultra Athlete's one of those decks where the ceiling is just kind of mid-height.
Yeah.
It does what it's supposed to. It's linear.
I mean, it had... So the concept is basically you've got, like, the offensive athletes and the defensive athletes.
Yes.
And the offensive athletes, you want them on your turn to, like, attack your opponent and do stuff.
And then you can tag them out with others in your hand for defensive ones for your opponent's turn.
Yeah, it's like Blockbacker and...
Blockbacker, Perfect Ace. They came with negations.
Were like Dreadnought Dunker
and Slugger.
Yeah, so I think that was a really cool thing. There's actually a lot of different TCG exclusive archetypes that kind of have that duality thing going on, where there's like the these and the these, pilots and ships. Hint, hint. Foreshadowing.
UA had a strong equip spell.
Yeah, a good field spell too.
And they got midfielder, which kind of brought the whole strategy together.
It was also at a time when Rhoda was at 3. Fun fact. Really random bit, but
which made it acceptable to only have just midfielder as your normal summon. But it's at 1 now. Not midfielder, but
yeah, Rhoda. Now speaking of Rhoda being at 3, the next one is Noble Knights. This is a huge fan favorite and one that I kind of wish could have been higher up on the list, but
some of the best artwork we've ever had.
You'll see why. Now, Noble Knights are kind of infamous. Early on, a lot of people didn't like facing it. Lots of equip spells protecting these Xyz monsters. They never die.
Getting rid of Artorigas. Ugh.
Now, obviously, these days, that's not the case. There's Kaijus to out these things among evenly matched bites in this deck really badly. But this is still a really fun archetype. Great art, like you said.
Yeah.
Pretty consistent now. I mean, it's...
sold.
Yeah, I sold, right?
It's
got, like, there's a lot of combos you can do with Noble Knight Brothers. They have their own hand trap now. There's Heritage of the Chalice. It's like a Rhoda for them. They got Merlin.
But like UA, it's one of those decks where the ceiling is only at kind of the mid-level.
Yeah, that's always kind of the thing with Noble Knights is when, the kings, the Xyz monsters, get interrupted in any way or outed, it's just tough to come back from. But it's still really cool, and it's one of the decks that I know a lot of people like. So I feel like it earns a spot on the list for sure.
The next deck is Subterrors.
Yeah.
God. Almost didn't want to give it the spot over Noble Knights, but Guru's kind of hot.
Yeah, Guru really carried Subterrors to this spot because Subterrors before now were not particularly special. I will say I loved them a lot. I like the theme. I like that the behemoths were like, these strong flip effect monsters, and like when they're flipped up, it's like they're very powerful.
If it weren't
break the earth.
For Guru, I would say they're worse than crawlers.
But then, and they also have the Nemesis monsters. It's another one of those duality things where like there's the behemoths, there's the Nemesis.
Didn't understand how that worked at all. Tell you the truth.
Think of Attack on Titan is basically what.
But like, why are you playing them both in the same deck?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's how it worked, and it was cool. I like the behemoths. I like that concept. Guru brought the deck together more, along with Venus being a hand trap, so it made the deck competitive, as you guys know.
And consistent.
Yeah, Guru Control, it tops. It can hold its own. It doesn't feel spiritually like it's really Subterrors to me.
Don't you only play one behemoth? And it's not even the link.
Maybe a new Masterix. But, Subterrors are cool, They top, so... Can't be too mad, I suppose. Anyway, the next one is Kaijus. And not really much for the archetype itself. I mean, they have support cards.
And people have built Kaiju decks.
Yeah, but really it's just for what the Kaijus themselves did in the metagame. There were ways to out cards,
Oh, Gamisho.
Yeah, Gamisho being the most infamous one. You tribute an opponent's monster and you summon a Kaiju to their field. And in addition to that, because you are just tributing just straight up as a summoning cost, your opponent is powerless to do anything. You can out any monster with it. I mean, anything.
Except for the ones that can't be tributed.
Yeah, and there aren't too many of those.
Diabolus.
So, it's, Kaijus are really cool. They also have Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which was a very impactful card. It's like a dark hole.
I love that all the Kaijus are different attributes and types, which means that a given deck probably has one that they can search fairly easily.
Oh, right, yeah. Dinos have Dogoron. Let's see, there's Jizukiru, who's the Cyber Dragon one. I run him.
I tried running, I forget the name of the electric one.
Yeah.
Mad Kaiju thing. But it was better to run Dogoron.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ones, and I think that actually really helps too. So yeah, Kaijus, pretty cool.
The next deck is Spirals.
What's there to say about Spirals?
Oh, did I hate facing Spirals. At their apex, Spirals were some people
obnoxiously
say
powerful.
tier 0 deck.
It's kind of funny because up until then they were like a tier 5 deck. Like it was very
people did not
under
pay
the
attention
radar,
to them.
no one cares. Master Roll 4 drops, they give them double helix and a bunch of stuff, and it's like, oh wow.
It was soul crushing. They were the first deck to X-Link you, right?
Yeah, they spammed a lot of link monsters. I mean, they had powerful things. Today, obviously, they don't. There's Sleeper equipped with
it took a lot to
with
slow them
Resort
down.
or whatever, Last Resort. There's Spiral Resort. The field spell had to get limited. It does a lot of searching.
Master Plan.
Yeah, Master Plan.
Quick Fix.
Yeah, Quick Fix. Yeah, Big Red. All that stuff. It was a strong deck at its apex. Even now, it's not the worst. I mean, it's a fun kind of lower tier link strategy.
It's not as consistent as it used to be.
Yeah.
It can't churn out the boards it used to churn out. It still has what's his face? The undercover guy.
Yeah, they still have like most of their key monsters. It's just the ban list wasn't kind to them.
I had one, so
yeah, it's
good luck with that.
But yeah, pretty cool. They're also spies. I thought that was like a stealth.
Yeah.
They're on a mission.
Now, do you feel like they were more reference to like Mission Impossible, James Bond, or my favorite, Austin Powers?
I thought it was Metal Gear Solid.
I think it's Austin
Because it's
Powers.
Konami. I don't know. I mean, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Okay, so the next one's Dangers. Now, this one we thought about putting at number 2, but so Dangers are here. They, you know, what's there to say?
For a lot of the same reason that Kaijus were on the list, Dangers on the list, right?
Yeah, they're on the list not so much because of a pure Danger deck being particularly strong.
Like literally any of their support outside of the monsters. We're not even thinking about that.
It's just Tsuchinoko and Jackalope and Nessie. So, yeah, I mean, they have the discard gimmick, the reveal, summon, lots of summoning power, lots of extenders, lots of draw power.
I think my favorite part, and least, well, now it's my favorite part about Dangers, is that even outside of the good ones, all the Dangers have that inherent ability to, the
reveal and all that.
And you get the draw. That's amazing.
Yeah, I will say that thematically Dangers are awesome. I mean, like Nessie and Bigfoot and all that stuff. That's a really cool thing. I kind of wish that it could have been designed just a little differently so that the deck could work as a deck, but not be super splashable.
It's so interesting how cards can be worse in their own deck.
I know. Because the Dangers, they don't lead to anything in their own deck. Like, you have to use Link monsters or something that, so.
And so many of them are going second type cards.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic that they have. But they have made a really big impact, so of course they had to be
combo decks love.
Number 3.
Next deck is Cosmos. This was a bit of a toss-up between Dangers. We gave it its spot because, like Spirals, at its apex, it was a tier 1 deck.
Very strong. Dark Destroyer, Tin Can.
Some of the most iconic monsters that we've ever had.
And Dark Destroyer is pretty expensive too. So what do they do? What's the gist with these?
So it's kind of like they're kind of like UA but juiced up. Mm-hmm. So you would banish the small pilots, they were the psychics, and summon the big machines, the ships, from your hand. And then most of the ships would have effects on summon. And the biggest of the ships were also non-targetable, and they floated when they were destroyed.
Yeah, Dark Destroyer being the really infamous one, who's been on the ban list and back. And this deck, while not particularly strong today, really was a very dominant strategy, pretty oppressive when it wanted to be. When
they got Tin Can, it was so consistent, having 3 Tin Can, 3 E-Telly, 1 for 1.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think that, with Cosmos 2, like many TCG exclusive archetypes, an awesome theme.
Oh yeah, I love Star Wars.
Wizard of Oz, I learned to love. I learned a lot, yeah. I think that's cool though that the monsters are like all a hybrid of those two things. I think that's very neat.
like Farm Girl was the first of her kind, and at least as far as I know, of like a monster. It was so weird because at the time we didn't have too many of those linchpin kind of monsters, the normal summon search monsters.
Yeah.
But of course she had to do damage to do it.
Yeah, she's similar to Brother of the Fire Fist Bear.
In a lot of decks, cards like that weren't. So, you were like, it's kind of good, but kind of not. Farm Girl was everything to the deck.
Yeah, she was
before
very central to things. You can summon her with e-tailing.
Yeah, and you can summon her with e-tailing.
And the number 1 TCG exclusive deck should be no surprise.
Yeah, come on, if you didn't, you can guess it now.
Burning Abyss.
Wait, what?
You were probably thinking it was like the Time Snatchers or whatever.
I thought we were going to Time Thieves. Remember, they gave us Azathoth.
Yeah, Burning Abyss. These guys came out in like 2014. It's been a long time.
And they're still here.
And they are still here. They're still able to, top events. They're still able to compete, hold their own. They have survived a couple of different banlist hits over the years, different types of power creep. New master rules have shown up.
Dante is here.
Yeah, Dante's here. Seer, Graf, the whole gang is here in hell partying. They just got Cherubini, a new Link monster, because got to give these archetypes everything.
Thank God we lost Summon Sorcerers.
Yeah, so this is a it's got staying power. Now again, thematically cool.
Yep, those demons, they're demons. Yeah, they're demons. They have some of the most gritty, most un-Yu-Gi-Oh like artwork I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
My favorite is Graf.
A fun fact: Genzelman, who drew the Burning Abyss monsters and the Cosmo monsters, also drew most of the archetypes in this list. Actually, most people don't know that. He drew Noble Knights, some others. But yeah, so Burning Abyss, lots of meta staying power. They float. It's very hard to power creep those types of effects, I feel.
True.
And they just got a Link monster, yeah. So I mean, it looks like they're gonna still be making an impact in tournaments for
years to come.
So those are the top 10 TCG exclusive archetypes. At least, when they were released. A lot of them are in the OCG now.
And you guys, you can hop in the comments and try and tell us what you think are the top 10. You can change our order, but I don't think you can change the decks on this list. Yeah, I just don't feel like there's anything else you can even put on the list.
Not too much else. So hopefully, I'm excited to see what the next set of really impactful TCG exclusives are.
It is interesting because they've been kind of changing up the rules.
Yeah, that's true.
Now we've gotten TCG exclusives that they're getting links now. We had a TCG exclusive that got one monster.
Yeah.
We have a TCG exclusive that got one round of support.
Yeah, there's been a lot. So
yeah, there's really no telling.
Next? Anyway, that's gonna be it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up.
If you loved it, subscribe.
Yes, and be sure to join our Discord server. We'd love to have you there. Awesome place. Link in the description. You can send us fan mail at our new P.O. box. Address in the description as well.
Once again, if you're gonna send us cards, please send the return label and everything.
Yes, we would appreciate it.
It gets expensive.
So we can sign them. If you want them signed.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want us to keep them, well, that's between you and me. We'll talk offline.
It's gonna be it. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Pass turn.